Good morning, my friends. Good morning, and welcome to another of my shows. This is possibly the last one on the Vobes Show because the Richard Vobes channel will be back, although I dare say I shall do some other bits and pieces on this channel. Although I woke up this morning to find the fantastic news that no, I hadn't been shot at. Oh, was that something in my ear? No. That was a notice from YouTube to say you've been demonetized. Yes, so I'm not earning anything on this channel. This is just a sort of a dormant channel that I brought back as an emergency so that I can carry on bringing you bits of stuff and some interviews and opinion pieces and news and all of that, just to keep my presence around and to give me something to do whilst they kick me off the other channel for getting a bit too close to the truth. And now that I've come to the end of that ban, which I think is tomorrow, which will be the 17th of July, which is actually my mother's birthday, so bless you, Mum. However, she's no longer with us, unfortunately. So I've got no one to go and run and cry to, Mum, they've demonetized me. But they've demonetized me on my main channel where I've got the 2,016,000 subscribers, which we built up over the last 19 months. And prior to that, built up over 6 years of doing heritage, landscape and nature and all sorts of other bits and bobs which have been on that channel. And this is a journey that I never really intended to get into or onto and fell into when I discovered that there were these rabbit holes. And when you fall down the rabbit holes and you start to think, hang on a minute, blimey, I didn't know that was the case. I didn't know that was true. And I've always sort of thought that wasn't quite right. Never felt it was right in my bones that certain buildings might drop down by aeroplanes flying in them, and turns out that it wasn't quite the way it was sold to us. And then there were certain health issues 4 years ago that was sold to us as a big thing, and turns out that that wasn't quite the way the mainstream narrative wanted us to believe. And then certain things that they wanted you to have in your body that turns out actually wasn't a wise move either. Fortunately, I managed to see through all of that and resisted the temptation to follow what the mainstream media are doing. However, talking about it had been an interesting thing, and people had watched and come in their droves and were very keen to learn more. And of course, I've had many guests on over the last 19 months or so, which have blown my mind. I've been very humbled by having these guests. Now, some people have said, oh, Richard's a bit of a conspiracy theorist, he's making stuff up, or it's all not true, or he's just reading the wrong kind of books, or he's not listening to mainstream media, he's not following the science, he's disagreeing with everything. And that may be true. And of course, I've been trying to have an open mind as much as possible, and just getting people to think differently, to think not from the narrow way. And many people are thinking differently, and many people are thinking actually what we have in this world of ours has been perhaps orchestrated down one path, and there are many other paths that perhaps we ought to be looking in. And that's really the journey that I've been trying to do, and just questioning some of the things that people, the big corporations and the government, the corporation that is the government, the UK corporation and all of that, and just questioning whether what they're saying is accurate, whether, for example, MPs that swear an oath to a crown corporation are actually swearing an oath. I thought swearing an oath, for example, you had to do it to another man. Otherwise, what are you swearing to? A dead entity, a corporation. The Crown Corporation is a business. It's on Dun and Bradstreet. It's a business. It's not an actual, it's not a real living embodiment of a group of people or anything like we used to have, perhaps. And when MPs swear an oath, they need to do it to a living man or woman, not a corporation. And so what then makes you think, well, perhaps that's just an affirmation that the MPs will be obeying the policies of the Crown Corporation. And it was staggering to me that they, for example, were not giving an oath to the people who are supposedly voted them in. So that the MPs have naturally said to the people of this land, we are going to do the best for you. They haven't said that. And so it deemed to me that it would be treason for them to start working for a policy obeying the policies of the Crown Corporation. And so, I just want to sort of ask questions. Is that right? Is that correct for the benefit of humanity, as it were? But unfortunately, the policies that give these platforms the ability for you to do, you've got to, you can't get outside that box, because if you do, not only do you get banned for a certain amount of time, but then they deem actually we're not even going to allow you to exist. We'll pull the rug from underneath you and demonetize the channel. Now, luckily, I have to say, I've not been kicked off the channel completely. And this demonetization will go on, I think, until October, and then I can apply for it again. So it's 3 months, I think. So at the moment, yes, impecunious Vobes is what you're looking at. And it's interesting that anybody who's run a YouTube channel will know, if you've had it monetized before, you can see the money that you've earned up to a certain point, and it's suggested income from the last time they paid you, and I saw that. And I'm a week away from what you would call payday, but they've taken all that money. So you've got no leg to stand on. You've got no legality to say, well, hold on a minute, I've actually earned three weeks of money, and you're not even going to pay that now. You've just completely demonetized the channel. That's it. So that is the situation. And it's annoying, really, because the lovely Julia and I, Julia is, my partner, my lovely partner, and I are looking into getting into some land and going to do some farming and try and take the journey onto a much more holistic journey, possibly a little bit away from some of the controversy of conspiracy stuff, and to show you what we're doing with the farming and all of that. That's where we were sort of trying to bridge over. And we were thinking of renting somewhere for a period of 3 months whilst we go looking for the land, bringing ourselves together, because Julia is living at the moment still with her ex, and her kids are over there. But we were thinking that we would manage to be able to rent somewhere, keep the channel going, share the journey. That's obviously in a question mark at the moment, but there you go. So I've only discovered this morning, so I'm not quite sure. It's one of those things you go, oh, okay, so I've been banned twice in the last 2 weeks, and now I've been demonetized. So where do we go from this? The universe, the universe is working in a mysterious way, but I'm not downhearted. Many people have been demonetized. Many people have found ways around it. And maybe it is time to move off this platform of YouTube and say, well, if people want the truth, if people want to have an open mind, perhaps this is not the area to do it. Perhaps one has to go elsewhere and try and take as many people as you can with you to a different platform who are open-minded and not governed by the dark forces that are, trying to keep people quelled. The truth is out. That's the real thing. The truth is out, and they're not going to be able to put it back into the bottle. The only way now to be able to control the nation, the only way is to set up these lollipops with the radiation thing, you know what I'm talking about, and to shove people corral them into 15-minute cities, corral them and keep them stuck, stop them from driving, to have some strange policy to say that, there's a huge climate problem. These seems to be the ways that they're going to try it. But the truth is out. It's too late. And we're just seeing the monster throwing out his toys in the pram. His head's been cut off, but the tentacles don't know that. And they're swishing about. And people like myself may be at this moment tried to bat us away. But the truth will carry on. And I'm not going to give up, of course. One way or another, I shall carry on. But it is in the farming area that I'm particularly interested, because food security, growing food, husbandry of animals, looking after things. This is where we've got to be. We've got to get back to basics. We've got to take back the responsibility. So there is a PayPal option for anybody who wants to support me, of course, and I'm not going to push that drastically, just mention that it's there in the description. One way or another, we will survive, because I think the universe is moving key players and people who've got things to offer, and sometimes, as one door closes, another opens. So I'm very optimistic, and I'm not going to let it get me down, because that's the other thing. The low vibrations are not helping anybody. We have to keep our vibrations up. We have to keep our positive mental attitude up. We have to smile and laugh and go, is that the best you can do? Is that the best? Okay, fair enough. Thank you very much. It's been great fun, but we're going to move on. And I am on a spiritual journey. I believe that my best work has yet to come. And if you've enjoyed any of this and you want to support me, that's entirely up to you. I'm not going to push that. You may have noticed, I have put as minimum adverts in the middle of my interviews. I don't put any adverts in the interviews. I've not gone out there to try and fleece as much money out of the stuff in the past. Deliberately not done that. Just top and tailed them. And I've kept away all the sort of the amount of emails that I was getting from companies offering me affiliates and desks that would go up and down, generators that you could use, power sources, also, most peculiar things that people would get in touch and say, we'd like to have an affiliation with you. You could promote this and do an advert at the beginning. And I've said, no, I don't want to do that. I just want to get the truth out. I want to have the interviews with my guests, and I want to be able to put my opinions, and I don't want to muddy the water with disingenuous products and things and sell stuff that nobody actually was interested in. But it may be that that's what one has to do in order to survive when the YouTube thing has demonetized me. But there we are. Anyway, we'll see where it goes. We'll see where it goes. I may still go off and disappear for a bit with the lovely Julia and rent somewhere, work on a farm. That's the thing that we would love to do. We want to get the experience. We would love to just go and rent somewhere for a little bit of money and offer our services to as labourers, effectively. There must be farms that need cheap labour in exchange for a small little place to rent and go back to a bit of, working on a farm and getting the experience. I'm happy to do anything. We've cleaned out the pigs. We've cleaned out the cows. I don't mind being weed on and pooed on by cows when you're in the middle of milking. None of that phases me. And so there's got to be something like that we can get out, because the food security is the number one thing that is worrying me at the moment. Obviously, we all understand that we're sovereign people, that we the people need to gather together and unite, that we need to stand up for our rights, take back our responsibility, and not be rolled over by these people who wish to say that they are better than us. There is no man is above another. And so I'll leave you with that thought. Anyway, thanks for all the support and everything. I will be back, and I will continue to do as best I can. But there you go. Now I know what it's like to be banned and demonetized, as so many other channels are. We must be flying over the target. But as I say, at least nobody's taken a pop at me. Not yet, anyway. Till next time, take care, and thanks for watching.